Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sim's YouTube channel, and welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2. Let me just kind of bring you up to speed here. I am going to kind of intermix, I think, American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator just a little bit to kind of give me a little bit of variety with what we're doing on the channel, and also give you some variety as well. So we are currently in Napoli, Italy. And we are going to head down to the bottom of the boot of Italy, down to Taranto, something like that. I'm sure I am hacking the pronunciation of that terribly, and my apologies for all of our Italian viewers out there that would know how to pronounce some of these things correctly. We're going to be headed through on the A16 down to the A14 through Bari, and then down into Taranto there. So let's go ahead and get started. We are in my favorite truck in Euro Truck Simulator 2, and that is the Volvo 750. I just really like this truck, and it's probably going to be something that perhaps maybe, let me get my track IR going here, that maybe you're going to see potentially a lot more of the Volvo than you might see some of the other truck models, just because some of those I just really do not care for. I'm not big into Scania or some of those, although just to kind of mix things up a little bit, I might sort of force myself to eventually drive one of those. It's just that I'm just not a big fan of I suppose the look of them. But that's for down the road, I suppose. I guess for right now, just kind of doing things the way that we're doing them. We'll just kind of play around with the Volvo for a bit, and then if need be, we can mix things up at a later date. So let's go ahead and get out of here. This is a heavy cargo or heavy haul job as well. Now let me just bring up my F3 menu here, and let me just take a look and see if we've got time to complete this job. And I believe that we do. Hopefully we will before we fatigue out. But let's go ahead and get rolling out here a ways. And it looks like we turned the wrong way, but that's fine. It'll correct. We're basically coming out the same way that we came in. I drove from a neighboring town. I'm not sure what town that was, wherever my truck was on the last job, and headed over here to Napoli. And so we will head out here. I'll go ahead and drop the tag axle now. That'll give us a little bit more traction on the truck, and hopefully we'll be able to make good and everything with the load the way that it is. And perhaps that might be the reason why they had us go out the way that they did there, was because of this little awkward turn. But I think that the heavy haul trailer and everything for ETS2 will handle that just fine, and hopefully we won't knock the stop sign down here as we turn out. So let's see, is anything coming? Nothing that way, nothing that way. So we'll make kind of give it a wide turn, and the trailer wheel should turn and basically cause the trailer to go ahead and follow around. And I tell you what, it does work quite well. Looking forward to getting this DLC and ATS. I think the opportunities are perhaps endless on that, as for what sort of jobs and stuff that we could possibly do and experience, and everything would be quite cool. So one point of discussion that I saw over on the Steam forums for ETS2, or maybe it was ATS actually, just a few days ago, was sort of a discussion around the whole use of beacons. And of course, beacons are quite, I think, more utilized in Europe than they certainly are in the US. And any time that I used to jump on the multiplayer server, you could kind of see who perhaps might have been from Europe playing American Truck Simulator on the server, because they tend to overuse beacons. And I just don't think that the beacon use, like I said, in the US is as predominant as it perhaps is in Europe. And like, for example, I mean, I was on the multiplayer server just a few weeks ago, and saw some folks just pulling just regular, probably either a reefer or a dry cargo trailer, and had beacons on. And there's really no point to that. It's certainly not anything that we see running up and down the interstate highway system. I would even go so far as to say that even what might be considered sort of standard hazardous materials like gasoline, fuel, propane, those kind of type trailers and trucks, those also are not equipped with beacons. Certainly a truck transporting hazardous materials such as gasoline or butane or whatever, propane, they will stop at railroad crossings. It is illegal for them not to do that, and they will just turn on their four-way flashers and stop, and then proceed across the railroad crossing, and then they will turn off their beacons. And I think I was running a little fast there. Let me bring up this menu. I know that this breaks the immersion just a little bit having this up, but it's a little easier for me to monitor my speed by having the F3 menu up than it is for me to see the speedometer on the truck. And again, I fully understand that it sort of breaks the immersion just a little bit by doing it this way. But again, you know, not everything is as sharp and as detailed as what it might be in the real world as far as the perspective between my eyes and the dashboard. And you know, I am going to be 52 years old here in a few months, and even though I do wear reading glasses, and I do have my reading glasses on, because if I didn't, I really wouldn't even be able to see anything that was going on. I would probably not even be able to see out the mirrors in that case. But yeah, I find the speedometer just a little bit hard to read, and it's just a little easier for me to have the F3 menu up somewhat in the state that it's in. And I know that there's some mods that I can relocate the F3 menu up to I think I've seen one where you can place the F3 menu up to the top, and might look into that, something like that at some point in time. But that kind of, well, that's just going to break the immersion as well. But anyway, I digress just a little bit from what I was talking about earlier. But yeah, about the flashers or the strobes, the beacons and everything, they just are not used in the U.S. as much as I think that they are in Europe. And so I think I responded to that comment, more or less said exactly what I've pretty much said here in my audio commentary about it. And not sure if anyone argued that point, because again, you know, I don't see them. I don't even think the trucks are equipped with them. Your standard carriers like Schneider, JB Hunt, those guys that we see pretty predominantly running, you know, FedEx, UPS running semis and everything up and down the interstates, they just don't have them. Well, anyway, folks, I hope everyone is having a wonderful day and a wonderful week and everything. Let's see, if my memory serves me correctly, I'm thinking this video is going to fall into the week before the run-up to the Easter weekend, so Good Friday and Easter Sunday, and of course Easter Monday. Of course, we don't really recognize Easter Monday much as far as an official day or holiday or anything like that, but although that is still a bank holiday weekend, like for our friends in the UK and I guess some places in Europe and such. And so hope everyone is got plans for Easter, and good plans and safe travels to all of you if you're going to be traveling maybe to grandma's house or further or whatever. Of course, I also think that the week leading up to Easter here in the Denver area, that's also spring break weekend for some of the high schools and everything, so hopefully they're all enjoying a very safe spring break. And I've been seeing, of course, spring break is different, you know, different places or different times, different places. Well, come on there. different times, different places, and everything. But I have been seeing some of the video from some of the Florida resort locations and such, like Fort Lauderdale and those areas. And I know that the college kids have been out in mass supporting those areas, as I guess they always do, acting all wild and crazy and everything. When I was a younger person, and of course I was born in the 60s, 1966 to be exact, and so I was growing up in the 70s and sort of coming of age and everything in the 80s. And I remember there were quite a few movies that were quite popular during that time frame. I think probably titled Spring Break this or that, maybe Spring Break 2, Spring Break 3. I'm sure they made several sequels to those crazy movies that at the time I guess we all thought they were pretty awesome, but probably for the wrong reasons. And of course now if you were to watch something like that filmed way back then, you'd probably think it was pretty cheesy. Not all movies hold their let's get some headlights going here, but not all movies hold their value and everything long term. I mean, you're certainly not going to see a movie like Spring Break, for example, be as iconic as, say, It's a Wonderful Life, for obvious reasons. But anyway, I'm guessing that the teenagers and the college students and everything in today's age, day and time, are just as crazy as perhaps they were back then. Who knows, maybe even crazier. But we try to avoid, personally, we try to avoid, going and taking any vacation, doing anything during spring break. Obviously, we don't have kids, so that's not an issue. We're not trying to cram some kind of a trip or a vacation or something while kids are in spring break. And I understand why families need to do that, but certainly for us, that is not something that we tend to enjoy to do. And if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you probably kind of get that rhythm and get that feel, because we enjoy taking our fall vacations, being out and about and doing things that might normally be, have a lot of families, a lot of kids and whatnot in the area. But obviously if we stagger our vacation just a little bit, our vacation time just a little bit, then we can kind of avoid some of that stuff. So anyway, we're coming up on about 15 minutes, 14 minutes, something like that, to the video, and we've only got about 68 kilometers to go. So we're gonna, this will be a relatively short video, I think, unless we have problems getting into our drop point. And I believe that this is the first time I've been to Taranto, if that's how it's pronounced. And again, my apologies if it is not, but I'm pretty sure that this is the first time I've been down to this part of Italy. I think I purchased the Italia DLC pretty soon after it came out, which it's been out for several weeks, I guess, now. Maybe even longer than that. Time flies when you're having fun, right? But I did get down here, or did get into Italy when it first came out, checked out some of the sites in Rome, and I think I bought myself a garage in Rome just to kind of give myself a point of which to sort of teleport to if I want to come down here and drive in Italy. And so that's what I did a few days ago. I did update ProMods just a few days ago with the latest version, and it does not ring a bell in my mind right now what version number that is. But if you look at my mod spreadsheet, if you go to grizzlybearsims.com, I've got the links to both ProMods and also Russia Map. Those are the only two map mods that I do run for ETS2. I'm not running near as many mods on ETS2 as I do for ATS, because primarily with ProMods, because I personally believe ProMods is your premier map mod for ETS2. I certainly wish that there were more I wish the ProMods team, actually, that would be probably the best scenario, if the ProMods team would start making map mods for ATS, but they're not, at least not at the present time. But anyway, I digress again. But so ProMods is going to be quality stuff, and I know that when I was doing ETS2 videos a few months ago, I know that I've probably shared all this with you at one time or another, and I will just sort of say it again, and we'll get into some ProMods territory so that you all can see the splendor that is ProMods. Of course, you might want to check out my pal Duckzorly. If you don't watch his channel, why not? You should be. You'll find the link to his channel down below in my notes. But Duckzorly has been, as a matter of fact, just this week, the week that I'm actually in real life and recording this video, he actually recorded an ETS2 video. Now he's sort of taking a little bit different approach than, for example, than I am. He started all over from scratch with a more or less a brand new profile and doing the whole career mode kind of thing, and that's really cool. And that may be something that I might actually consider doing. My gosh, it's been years. I think 2012 was when I got ETS2, so that was what, 6 years ago, something like that. So 5 or 6 years ago, and so it's been that long since I have started off as a rookie driver, and had to sort of save my pennies and start from the sort of the bare beginnings of forming your company and doing the quick jobs as that bus just kind of pulls out in front of us there. But it does happen. Anyway, so I might consider doing that. Maybe ETS2 would be a good platform to actually do the whole career mode thing, start over with a brand new profile and work my way up and make those a series of videos, not copying Duckzorly, certainly, but I think that is a good idea that he has, and maybe one that I may again try to sort of incorporate into my channel. I think it would be fun to maybe start over from the beginning. Not so sure about ATS, just simply because I do kind of have some ideas with regards to what I want to do with ATS as far as the channel is concerned. I think I might have mentioned in the ATS video that I did last week, I think I might have mentioned that I might do some company jobs, find some of the skins and everything, and do a little research on the companies themselves, and then sort of talk about that and be able to share that information with you all. I think that might be kind of cool to do. All right, well, we are getting close to our drop point here. We're just literally 0 kilometers away, and so I need to kind of be paying attention. And my track IR has worked almost flawlessly until just recent moments there, and then it began to jerk away there. So hopefully, I think I figured something out about track IR, by the way, and I know I talked about this in my ATS video last week and it was really jerky and everything then, but I think it may have to do with the way that, well, I think it might be twofold. I think one is I may have had my cap pulled down a little bit, either too high or too low. And I tell you what, since we've got a heavy haul load, and since this is basically a big spool of cable, we're going to take the let's play it safe approach for this particular job here, and just drop this off. That way we can go ahead and wrap this video up, and I'll let you guys get on to your busy schedules, your busy day and everything. But anyway, I think it might be twofold. One, I think the cap might have been causing me some problems. I've got the little metal attachment that clips onto your bill of your cap that has the 3 sensors on it that helps track IR figure out where your head is pointing. And so I had that maybe a bit too high sitting on my head, and that was the first thing. And then the second thing is I think that maybe because the way that my office, my game office and everything at home is situated, my back faces a long corridor that's maybe 30 or 40 feet, and I'm wondering if there's something that might be causing that to have a little bit of a problem as well, considering that there's not like a wall or something that's, typically you might have a wall behind you about 10 or 12 or 15, 16 feet away, and there's not one for down this hallway that's about 30 feet or so. But anyway, let's go ahead and end this job here by clicking T on our keyboard, and we'll get decoupled and everything from the trailer, and we'll see how we did. Excellent, that's a good thing. And then we've got a new achievement there. We get 1,000 XP because you bet I can park. I could have probably backed this one in, but again, for the sake of time, let's just go ahead and take the easier approach, and we'll click continue. And we did not level up there, but we gained a little bit of XP, so that's kind of cool. And again, this is the first profile that I ever had within ETS2. This is not modified in any way. It's just been a lot of hours playing the game over time, and that's where we've kind of gotten to. And of course, I do have a lot of drivers, and I have a lot of garages as well. So, all right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I've already done my screenshot. I did that before I started the video, so I just want to take this opportunity as I stop the truck and turn it off to thank you all so much for watching my videos, for being part of the Grizzly Bear Sims family. I really do appreciate that. I do consider you all friends there, and I don't know if I mentioned this in one of my older videos, but my flags here represent, obviously, the flag on the driver's side represents my home country, the United States of America, and on the passenger side is the Belgian flag for representation of my wife. So that's how that works. So I just love this truck. I really do like this Volvo, and the cool thing about it is the interior is a mod, and I really like what it's done. And of course, I've got the accessory pack that gives you the phone and the wallet and the ice chest and stuff like that. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap things up, and thank you all again for watching. As always, please click the like button there, and also if you're not a subscriber of the channel, I would appreciate it if you would click that subscribe button, and you can click that little bell so that you make sure that you will get reminded of when I publish new content. And eventually I want to do a little bit of live streaming again as well. Maybe trucking might be a good thing for me to do, because again, I do play somewhat ahead of on the farming stuff, and so I don't know if it makes sense to do a live stream on a map that I've got episodes recorded a week or two in advance and then do a live stream, and you guys are wondering, well, why am I harvesting when in the last video I was still planting? So anyway, but we can figure something out, but maybe trucking will be a good live stream opportunity. But thank you again so much. I do appreciate it as always. Take very good care of yourselves and also of each other, and God bless you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.